Today's hashtag Monday Talks right here on channel 263 with the best youth show in the motherland. Today, as Lwandile has said, we are discussing Plastic Free July. That is a global movement that is helping millions of people around the world with a solution to have plastic pollution. And it is said that 9% of plastic produced gets recycled, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But of course, joining us in this conversation today is we are not doing this alone, but creating awareness around it rather with, of course, the founder and owner of shopzero, who goes by the name of Yannicka Blake. Welcome to the show and thank you so much for joining us. This is a very, very important conversation and I really just want to dive straight into it because there are so many people at home right now that might be finding out about Plastic Free July for the first time today. Why do you think that hosting conversations around this is so important?
Yeah, so as you've mentioned, only 9% of plastic ever produced is actually or has been recycled. And if we look at the amount of plastic that has been created since the 1950s, enough has been produced to cover the entire Argentina. And that's a big, big country. So we really drastically need to look at our relationship with single-use plastic because we need plastic in our lives. It's a fantastic material, but we just need to break up with single-use plastic. Yeah.
And we mentioned that you are the owner as well as founder of shopzero. What exactly is shopzero? How did you guys come about and what was the idea behind the opening and the launching of your store?
Yeah, so it's a place where you can come and shop zero waste or shop zero plastic. We are here in Cape Town, close to Parliament. We're currently in a pop-up space over there, and we've got an online store as well, so we deliver nationwide. People can come in with their own containers from home and fill up their dry goods in their own reusable jars, or we've got brown paper bags as well, and then we ship nationwide in paper or glass as well.
And that's so important that you mentioned they can come and do with their own containers, their own things that they're using in and around their home. But something I really want to get into as well that is so important and so crucial, just focusing on the Plastic Free July, is that around us we have access to these recyclable bins, right? But I think the question that is on everyone's mind is, are these items and the things that go into these bins, are they being recycled? Are these bins actually useful? Do they help the environment? What exactly are they doing to decrease, the things in and around the environment as well as the plastic and the litter that we see around?
Yeah, so recycling is definitely good, but reusing is better, or refusing. So if we are being offered a sample in a little plastic cup in a shop, do we really need it or can we go without it? Because that's going to be used once and then thrown away. So the problem with plastic is also it's a very cheap material, so there's not a lot of value added to it. So we don't see any metal lying around in our streets because that's valuable. So we actually need manufacturers to change and make plastic more valuable so that people can actually make money out of it to recycle it. Because so that's the one big problem. And also certain plastics aren't easily recyclable. So the numbers in the triangles.
Yes, which is actually something I really want to get into.
Yes.
What do those numbers stand for?
Yes, so that's the type of plastic that it is, and it also tells us what can be recycled. So I used to be a grade 5 teacher, and I always said to the kids, what's double of 3? They would say 6. What's 6 plus 1? That's 7. That's how I taught them to remember the non-recyclable ones. What's double of 3? It's 6. What's 6 plus 1? It's 7. So 3, 6, 7 are not recyclable. Ones and twos are easily recyclable. 5 is recyclable, but also only at certain recycling plants.
And something I also just want to jump into, as you're mentioning, the numbers in terms of the recycling. There's a thing called biodegradable plastics and compostable plastics as well. Are they good for our environment?
They could be. Some of them could be good if they have the correct certification and so on. The problem is in South Africa, I only know of 2 commercial composting facilities. So with those items, they have a code 7 as well. You'll see them. So if they end up in the recycling plant and they get mixed up in the recycling stream, they can actually damage useful recycling. So that's one problem. And then also, some of it is made of cornstarch. So, it's still plants that's grown water that's needed. So it's still single use, but
It
definitely.
still becomes part of that cycle in a way.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And
Sorry.
just to cut you off,
Yeah.
before we let you go, one question that I think is very, very important for people in society today. As people in society and in communities, how can, even though it is very difficult to admit to it, how can we aid and assist in limiting, the plastic that is found in and around the environment today?
Yeah.
In a few seconds.
Small steps. Set yourself a goal. This week, I'm not going to use any straws, or I'm going to remember to take my own bags to the shops.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because we also do have access to, bags that are not used of plastic,
Yes.
items that are not used with plastic as well. But thank you so, so much to,
Thank
of course,
you.
to Yannicka Black for being part of this conversation. It's very, very important. And remember, we also are continuing the conversation on Ekse Live across all social media platforms. It is channel 263 Ekse Live. Let us know how you are maintaining and also helping aid, the environment today with Plastic Free July. But as we've mentioned earlier,